Welcome back to another edition of Why It Works. I am Joelle Martinek, owner and photographer of Ginger Soul Photography here in Los Angeles. And today we are looking at this black and white image of lovely Xander dancer. I met him in Arizona. Really lovely to work with him. So let's dive in and take a look. So obviously the first thing you're going to notice is we have all of this negative space right here, which is, well, and over here, all of this negative space, which really allows the portion of the image that there is a subject happening to really stand out. I chose a black and white conversion for this photo because I just liked sort of the starkness of it and the depth against the sky and all of that. So again, looking at that contrast, obviously there's lots of it here. So the next thing that we're looking at is I love how it feels like this side of the mountain is sort of like, falling off or falling into the frame, I guess is how I want to say that, right? So you don't see much of that mountain, but it definitely, strategically, I placed it here again, sort of within that rule of thirds in both directions, right? So if we took the lines of, let's say, like a rule of thirds here. Again, I'm not very good at drawing these. That's not actually right. But right, so his body crosses right there into that. And then most of the mountain is here in sort of like this bottom third part. All right, I'm going to just sort of take out some of those lines so it's not quite as messy, right? So love that. And then strategically, working on a mountaintop with a dancer, I don't love when dancers' limbs get cut off by a like part of the mountain. Like I do have a photo of him standing and I can't see his foot. Um, it feels like he's chopped off right at the ankle. So I'm really working with dancers, really conscious of that. But what I do love is, how I love a triangle, right? So I love that we get this little triangle here. I love that little space in between his legs there. I love this little space, right? All of these little things that just give us more depth of movement, even though it's a very still pose, but more depth of movement. The one thing I wish I would have done was moved his hand here just a little bit more forward this way so that again we would get that little triangle there in the crook of his arm. There's a teeny tiny little one, but if I were to change anything, that would be one thing that I would change, right? I love that as we're reading the photograph that we read from left to right, so we're reading, and then we hit him, and then he sort of like takes our focus up and out of the frame, right? So it really feels grand and I don't know, it feels hopeful to me with him looking out that direction. So yeah, and then again, the contrast even here with this little bit of white on the rocks, right, contrasting against the darker rock here, just gives us that depth, right? Like all these little places that have a little more highlight. And then going back to him as well, right? So the sun was rising. This was a sunrise shoot. The sun was rising over here. So we do get the definition like on his shins here and sort of on his chest of those highlights. So he doesn't feel like just sort of like um, just a mass of something sitting there on that mountaintop. So those highlights help as well. And so I love this image, and this is why I think this works. So please make sure you like and subscribe. And as always, I'd love to hear or see your comments in the comment section. And I hope you're having a great day.